Dave DeGuzman inside the NBC4i Digital Center for a very special edition of the NBC4 Sports Digital Roundtable. We are wrapping up what was the last 17 days of magic at the Paris 2024 Olympics. And to help me out here, we bring back our super fan, our expert, and of course, digital content producer, Orri Benatar. Orri, there's so many ways we can go about how these games were. I think just starting off with general thoughts, what do you think is going to be the overall takeaway from what we saw for these last 2 weeks?
So I think there's a lot of different takeaways people can have. I think the biggest one is going to be, this is the Olympics back the way that we are used to seeing them, and kind of the way a lot of people remember, like the fond memories of the Olympics they watch in their childhoods. That was this games, especially with 2 games dealing with COVID. For American audience in particular, being able to watch an Olympics in real time during the morning and the afternoon, not in the middle of the night while we are sleeping, and just being able to see all these unbelievable moments with the backdrop of the Eiffel Tower and Versailles and all these places that we know from learning about France throughout the time that we've been alive. It just added that extra, like you said, magic to it. And from a sporting perspective, when you just look at how the games played, how the races, every sport had an unbelievably exciting finish in multiple events. So to me, when you think of these Olympics from a sporting perspective, I think this is the best Olympics of all time.
Yeah, I thought the same in a lot of ways. I said before these games started, this is a very pivotal Olympics for the Olympic movement coming off of back-to-back COVID Olympics. And just, when you look at the last few Olympics in general, I don't think we've had these kind of vibes since London 2012.
Yeah.
And I think to have the city be the star of these Olympics, as you mentioned, to have the backdrops like we saw, like equestrian at Versailles, and to have beach volleyball at the Eiffel Tower. I was privileged enough to be there in person, and I can say, speaking firsthand, that the French are wonderful hosts. Paris did things, I think, the right way in their own kind of Parisian flair, and it was just a mood that we've been craving for the last 4 years. We haven't seen a crowd like that at an opening ceremony, a very unique opening ceremony. We haven't seen crowds pack the Stade de France like that in so long for that kind of atmosphere. The way we saw the crowds at the La Défense Arena for swimming, and of course for track and field back at the Stade de France, and just all these different venues. It was just so cool to be part of that. And then of course the competition itself. I feel like no matter what, the competition always seems to prevail. But these games in particular, we saw both the expected and the unexpected. I mean, just coming to mind, the middle distance runners and the long distance runners from the United States. We knew this was a strong U.S. team, but we didn't know that we would have that strong of a team in so many different events. Just one of many different, performances that I think will linger in our minds. And of course, Katie Ledecky, Simone Biles, 2 top names that, really delivered when it mattered the most. And some were kind of nail-biting. Even today, as we're recording this, it's a good thing we waited until the very last medal was awarded, because we weren't sure exactly how that was going to end up, that women's gold medal final. So just so many performances that you could look back on. And I think this was a great marriage of both the cultural and what's great about the Olympics outside of competition. And then, of course, the competition itself and the humanism that you see, just people doing extraordinary things on such a grand stage. Let's kind of pick out some interesting moments. I think it's hard to limit ourselves to like 3 or 5. I definitely won't limit ourselves to just one, but I guess what are some top for you? I'm not even going to rank mine, because I feel like they just kind of, they'll ebb and flow in this conversation. But for you, Orri, what are some of the top moments that stick out for you?
I think the one I'll remember the most fondly will be the 100-meter final, just because, of course, Usain Bolt, those are going to last forever, his races, but to have a 100-meter as close as that, and also when you dive deeper into the statistics of that race, Lyles was in 7th at the halfway point at 50 meters, and he hit full speed in those last 50 meters. We're talking 4 seconds with that last lunge, and wins it by 5 thousandths. And that is my top lasting moment, and I didn't even watch it live. So it just goes to show how epic that 100-meter final was. And let's face it, of all of the 329 events at these Summer Olympic Games, or just in any Summer Olympic Games, if there's one that everyone tries to watch, it's the 100-meter finals. And this men's 100-meter final absolutely delivered. And Noah Lyles, of course, the first American man to do it in 20 years, was absolutely huge for American sprinting in general. I also think the team sports had a lot of great moments. I mean, that men's soccer final was crazy. Spain beating France 5-3 in extra time. My goodness, that game was nuts, especially thinking about how unbelievable we've had in terms of finals in soccer tournaments. So you look back at the World Cup final in 2022, this Olympic final delivered. U.S. men's basketball, that is my favorite basketball team I've ever watched play. No doubt in my mind. Just seeing Steph Curry go off like that in the Olympics and having to see a U.S. men's dream team with NBA All-Stars be on the brink twice, playing Serbia and France in those last two games, and really having to see them play as hard as possible and coming through in the fourth quarter of that Serbia game and then hitting those big shots in the France game. Those are some of my favorite basketball games I will ever watch in my life. And then if I had to pick out two more, Novak Djokovic winning a gold medal finally. I think it pretty much cements him as the greatest tennis player of all time. And then the women's rugby ending. How the USA won the bronze last second try, hitting the conversion at the end. It's basically you get a Hail Mary from your own one to win the Super Bowl. That's kind of what that feeling is. So those are the five I would pick out. But man, oh man, there were so many great moments from these Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I agree with a lot of what you just said there. I mean, the 100, there's no other moment where the entire world stops to watch one singular event. Granted, it's only 10 seconds, so the world doesn't have to do that much effort to stop for that kind of moment. But it's so great when you have that kind of unifying moment in sports and to see what unfolded. And my gosh, that was one of the closest 100-meter finals ever. And to have an American do that for the first time since Justin Gatlin in Athens in 2004, as you mentioned, very impressive. And I also agree with you with the basketball. I mean, just watching Steph Curry deliver in his first Olympics, which again, I can't believe this is his first Olympics, but just amazing to have seen both men's and women's basketball prevail. They really had to earn it to continue to establish that dominance on the global stage. I think for me, again, kind of going back to personal experience, there was nothing like being in the Stade de France on that first day of full competition for the rugby sevens when France won on its home soil. I mean, there are a lot of moments, I think, for the host nation that they can come away with. Leon Marchand, I mean, 4 for 4 in individual gold medals. But I think to have what happened at the Stade de France on day one, to have France prevail over Fiji, which, by the way, that was not supposed to happen. On paper, Fiji was supposed to win and win by a lot because they were the defending champions twice in rugby sevens. So for France to do that, I think it really set the tone for the rest of the games. And of course, to do it on home soil with that kind of atmosphere was amazing. I think you can't discount what the women's gymnastics team did during these games. And again, so many different performances. I think you can kind of feel the tension when you were watching from Bercy Arena when Simone first, got on vault. I think that was when we were all kind of holding our breath because it was really her first, performance to really get the butterflies out. But you can kind of see that, she is typical Simone. But the rest of the team too. I mean, for the team final and then some of the individual results as well. Of course, kind of have to mention that if there was any one cloud of controversy from these games, it's how the scoring / judging / that whole scandal happening right now, still unfolding with Jordan Chiles on that floor exercise final. But, so many positives outweighing the negatives there. For Ohio Olympians specifically, to have 2 throwers from Central Ohio make the podium, and Joe Kovacs and Annette Echinkunwoke, phenomenal, especially Echinkunwoke with the journey she's had. I mean, being able to finally compete at an Olympics after basically getting denied in Tokyo, such an amazing story there. Katie Moon also making the podium as well. I mean, there are just so many different performances that I think you can look back on, and I think that's what's great, right? I mean, I can't wait to watch, and probably by the time a lot of you watch this, you would have already watched it, but that ending montage that NBC airs, it's going to give goosebumps, because it's one of those things that you look forward to at the end. It really puts a bow on what was such a marathon of competition. It's funny when you go through like the second week and you forget stuff that happened in the first week. Like, we're watching replays right now of the pommel horse final, where we had a medalist there too. I mean, the men's gymnastics team also, their first medal in the team event since 2008. There were so many firsts for these Olympics, especially for Team USA, and especially it sets the groundwork. I guess this is a good segue, right? Yep. Sets the groundwork into the future. I know we also have the Winter Olympics coming up soon, and we'll touch upon that in a second, but what do you think about, Orri, these Olympics as we move forward, especially for Team USA going into a home games?
I think it's fascinating the way the medal table turned out and the way that some of these medals kind of, fluctuated. The U.S. did very well in the events you're supposed to do well in. They did well in track and field. They did well in basketball. Women's soccer getting a gold medal back. They had historic medal droughts that they broke in weightlifting, in artistic swimming. They got a medal in equestrian, winning medals that they tend not to win very often. But at the same time, they had sports where they really should have dominated more that they did not. Men's swimming in particular, only 2 gold medals from men's swimming. And even women's swimming, they didn't get that many golds either. It would be 6 for them, which, all things considered, is actually not the best of meets. I would argue that this was maybe the most underwhelming meet for a USA swim team at an Olympics in a very long time, simply because of the men's performances. Because if men's swimming has a couple more gold medalists, then the U.S. is winning the gold medal battle over China. Instead, we end with a 40-40 tie. Also, beach volleyball, underwhelming because no one made it to the semifinals. That hasn't happened since, I think, 2000. And then also women's water polo, a 3-time defending gold medalist. They didn't even get on the podium, losing in a shootout to Australia in the semis, and then blowing a 3-goal lead with like 2 minutes left in the bronze medal game to the Netherlands. So there's definitely improvements and scraps that need to be picked up before LA 2028. But then also you look at the same side with China, dominated in the sports that they're expected to. Won every diving gold, won every table tennis gold, 5 weightlifting golds, 5 shooting golds, but they also won golds in events they tend not to win, winning a tennis gold medal, women's singles with Qinwen Zhang. They won rhythmic gymnastics, both artistic swimming gold medals. So it's going to make for a very interesting LA 2028, but let's face it, the new sports that are being added, they favor the United States. I mean, there's no question about it. They will be favored to win in softball. They will be favored to win both flag footballs, and they should be favored to win both lacrosse gold medals. It'll put the U.S. in good position. But if one area of focus for LA, for Team USA to improve on, it has to be men's swimming. That is the number one thing they have to improve on in 4 years.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to take away from these games going forward into LA. I think there's a lot of pressure when you host an Olympics. You're automatically entered into every single event anyway. So, I mean, if Team Handball can, score a goal or 5 and get within, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, the expectations are going to be different, right? But you're right, though. I mean, men's swimming, underwhelming. Beach volleyball, kind of a disappointment after the luxury that we've had of, women's beach volleyball for the last 4 games prior to Paris. But, then again, there's also a lot of hope, too, right? Because you see a lot of the sports that kind of took us by surprise. I mean,
the middle distance runners you mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
that was the biggest surprise. We never see the United States perform that well.
Grant Fisher medaling twice. I mean,
Quincy Hall winning the 400, Cole Hawker winning the 1500.
That was amazing. Those were such great races to have watched. But I think there's a lot of positives to take away, but there's also a lot of I think there were a lot of events where I was like, okay, that's going to provide some motivation going into LA. Like that loss is going to sting, or that loss is going to sting. I mean, water polo, women's water polo had been a dynasty, and, to get so close to, becoming a 5-time champ, 4 straight champions in gold medal, and then all of a sudden come away with nothing.
And the men made the podium. If you would have told me before the Olympics started
this morning,
men's water polo would win bronze
against Hungary,
women wouldn't make the podium,
I saw Hungary in person, and they looked really, really good. And so to have the United States defeat them in the bronze medal, which I think is a kind of a typical, I mean, we're getting a sidetrack here, but that's a kind of a typical, like, you lose in a semifinal and then, like, you just don't want to play in the bronze medal because you should have been in the gold. I think that was kind of one of those typical performances. But I mean, to win in a shootout, that's going to be amazing for the United States men's water polo team. You're right. Also, all the new sports that are going in, baseball, softball on home soil, flag football. There's just so much to look forward to in LA. I think it's going to be different vibe wise. I mean, Paris, you had so many, just gorgeous venues, iconic monuments, Eiffel Tower. I'm trying to think of how that's going to look for LA. I mean, at least they have great beaches. Like Southern California has great beaches.
The feel will be slightly different. I think because there is going to be a lot of events on college campuses, but also the fact that there are going to be events in Oklahoma City. They're going to have the canoeing and the softball over in Oklahoma City. So the vibes will definitely be different. It should still be a spectacular games. It's funny because I think I'm actually, if before these games started, if I had to say which games I'm more excited for, just in terms of what the program looks like, I would still say LA, simply because I can't remember a collection of new sports coming into Olympics that I've been more excited about than what we're getting in LA with baseball, softball, flag football, lacrosse, cricket, and squash. So the fact that you're adding in the most popular bat and ball game in the world, next to the second most popular bat and ball game in the world in baseball, softball, you add the most popular sport in America in football. Now you really have lacrosse too, another very popular team sport in the United States. This is the first Olympics where you have really the 5 major team sports in this country: football, baseball, softball, basketball, soccer, and hockey, all on the Olympic program. Obviously, hockey's in the winter, but you get my point here. But then, of course, you have other major sports like tennis and golf in there. And then you just pile it on with cricket and other stuff with gymnastics and swimming and track and field. It's going to be amazing. And it's also going to be so fascinating when they flip-flop the schedule with track leading off before swimming.
Because swimming is going to be in that SoFi Stadium. I'm sure they're going to rename it because of sponsor rights. But anyway.
Los Angeles Stadium of Swimming, former home of Los Angeles Rams, Los Angeles Chargers.
But yeah, that's going to be different to have swimming be the second week instead of the first week. But, I think LA has done this before. They've hosted the Olympic Games twice before. So has Paris. So, LA became the third city to host 3 times and Summer Olympic Games. They know what they're doing. I think it's just going to be a different vibe. Think of chill SoCal vibes. I don't know what that's like because I'm a Northeasterner. But I think we're in for a treat. They've had a lot of time. They were awarded the games at the same time that Paris was. So I think, that extra time is going to lead to a lot of extra thought and planning. But of course, we're going to just start the cycle all over again of anxiety and what's going to go wrong and stuff like that for the next 4 years.
That's every Olympics. Yeah.
What's great is that we don't have to wait that long for that Olympic feeling, because in 18 months we get to get the Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina. That should be another interesting vibe because, again, it's a return to normalcy, the first Winter Olympics since, the COVID restrictions of Beijing. And I think for a lot of athletes, redemption. I mean, Michaela Schifrin comes to mind after underwhelming performance in Beijing. Orri, your thoughts as to what might unfold in 18 months in Italy?
Well, nice the fact that this is the first Winter Olympics since 2014 that are not in Asia. So from a time zone standpoint for American viewers, that's perfect. It's going to be the same sort of feel as Paris, where you're going to have stuff live in the morning and in the afternoon. And not to mention the fact that from a coverage standpoint, just being able to watch all these different events on NBC4 and on all these other different platforms and whatnot, you definitely got to consume a lot more of the events this time around in Paris. And I think we're going to get the same for Milan and Italy in 2026. So the time
shout out to Gold Zone, by the way.
Yeah, unbelievable. So that is going to be very fascinating. The thing that the number one thing I think of for these Winter Olympics, the return of NHL players. Mm-hmm. That for me is the number one thing, because that
hasn't been the same since.
Yeah, that makes the men's hockey tournament that much more exciting and interesting. And you think of all these great NHL players that we haven't seen in Olympics, like Connor McDavid, like Austin Matthews, potentially being able to form these super teams. And the NHL is going to start to try and get people excited. They're doing this face-off series in February at the start of 2025, where they're going to have, NHL players from Canada, I think US, Sweden, and Finland kind of team up and play like a mid-season mini tournament. So that's going to really help because let's face it, the Winter Olympics has less sports. There's only 2 team sports in hockey and curling. As awesome as curling is, you need the hockey tournaments to bring that extra jolt of excitement. So, and then just looking and thinking of the athletes, probably Michaela Schifrin, probably her last Olympics. Do we see Chloe Kim go for her 3rd straight half pipe gold in the snowboard? You know, what's going to happen with speed skating and short track? One new sport in ski mountaineering. I don't know anything about it. I have to.
But we will.
We will learn. The other thing that's going to be really fun for us on NBC4, opening ceremony for the Winter Games, February 6th, 2026.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
February 8th, 2026, Super Bowl 60.
Right, that's now a new thing that we started in 2022 where it's really smart, honestly, to combine like 2 biggest sporting events, the Super Bowl and
yeah,
the
just
Olympics.
The way the rotation schedule. Because now that ABC is in the rotation schedule for the Super Bowl, NBC now, I think for the next 2 Winter Olympics, will have the Super Bowl.
It's a perfect marriage.
The same time as
it's a perfect marriage.
So
it's going to keep Mike Tirico up, though. He's going to be flying a lot.
So just mark it on your calendar. February 8th, 2026, Winter Olympics Day 2, full day of competition, and Super Bowl 60 from Santa Clara. Who knows? Maybe we'll see the Bengals and the Browns in there like we saw in 2022 with Cincinnati. So, but yeah, no, it's going to be amazing.